Okay, now that we have airdrop-ng installed and ready to use, all we have to do is set up a rules file so that we can run airdrop and disassociate devices depending on the rules file that we're going to create. The rules file is basically going to be a text file that contains a number of rules, and airdrop is going to read through those rules and disconnect or allow devices to connect depending on these rules. Let's see how we can add rules to the rules file or create a rules file. I have a sample of a rules file here, so I'm just going to open it and I'm going to attach that for you. So it's called airdrop rules here .txt, and let's just ignore this first rule for now. So the rules are made up of 3 parts, and they take the following format. So we have 1/2 and then a bar and then 3. So number 1 would contain this part. That part contains the type of the rule. So there is 2 types of rules. We can use an allow rule and a deny rule. The allow rule is used to allow devices to connect to the network. So when we add an A at the start of the line, airdrop is going to know the device that we're going to specify now is allowed to connect to the network. Now in the deny rule, it's the opposite. That means the device that we're going to specify is going to be denied from connecting to the target network. Now number 2 here, the second part of the rule, it contains the AP, or the access point that we're going to be targeting. We can use the word any to target all the access points that are within our Wi-Fi range. The third part, this part, it contains the MAC address of the device that we're going to target, that we're going to disconnect from the access point. So we can put the MAC address of the device, we can put the hardware manufacturer of the device, so we can put Apple, Dell, Broadcom, whatever, or we can use any to target all the devices that are within our Wi-Fi range. So it's very simple. We got 3 parts of the rule. The first part is the type of the rule. It's either allow or deny. The second part of the rule is the MAC address of the target network, and the third part is the MAC address of the target device. I'm gonna delete this rule for now, and then we write a new rule for us. Okay, so let's look at some examples, and it's gonna make it clearer on how these rules work. So for example, we have a rule here, and we can see from the first part that it's a deny rule, and it's gonna target a network with this MAC address, and it's gonna deny any device that has this MAC address from connecting to this network. Let's take another example here. So we have a deny rule again, and in this time we have 3 devices that we're targeting, 3 clients, 1, 2, 3. They're separated by comma, and all those 3 devices will be denied from connecting to any network that is within our Wi-Fi range. So any network that we can see using our Wi-Fi card, these devices will not be able to connect to these networks. We have a deny any here that will deny any device, any client that is within our Wi-Fi range from connecting to any network that's within our Wi-Fi range. And here we have an example of an allow rule. So we have A starting, so that means it's an allow rule, and that will be allowing those 3 devices to connect to this network with this MAC address. So for example, we can use an any and then allow only 3 devices to connect to one network, and this way we're denying everyone from connecting to any network, and we're only allowing certain devices that we want. It's like using a whitelist, so we're only allowing certain devices to connect to the networks, and we're doing all of this without knowing the key, without knowing the password to the target network, and we don't need to. We have another example here. It's a deny rule, and we're denying all devices that within our Wi-Fi range from connecting to a specific network. So we can use this again and then add an allow rule to allow only my device to connect to that network, and this way I'll be the only one who can connect to the target network. As I said, we can, instead of using MAC addresses, we can use hardware manufacturers. So these are examples using MAC hardware manufacturer instead of the MAC address. So we can use the deny rule, and then we're denying Apple devices in this line from connecting to any network. And in this example, we're denying all devices with a Broadcom chipset from connecting to Action Tech routers. Let's write our own rule now that we're going to use in the next video. So I'm going to use the deny rule, /, then I have to specify the MAC address of the target network. So that's going to be my home network, the UPC62 one. So if I can find this MAC address, yeah, that's its MAC address. I'm going to copy that and we'll paste it here. And then the third part is going to be the device that we want to disassociate, the device that we will be targeting. And I'm going to use the same device that we carried out the deauthentication attack on in previous videos. And that's it here. So I'm going to copy that and I'll paste it here. And that's our command now. So it's a deny rule. It's denying this device, which is my Linux device that it's this device here, this one, the main device. So I can confirm that it has that MAC address. If I just config ifconfig eth1, and we see here that's the MAC address. It's the CF01 at the end. So that's the device that we're going to be targeting, CF01, and that's the MAC address of my UPC62 network. In the next video, we'll see how we can use this rules file to disassociate our target device.